and salutations, it's me, Salty. Welcome back to 2 Cents Toys, and today we're going over let's see if I can get this right on the first try, the 40th anniversary Empire Strikes Back, Bespin Luke, Skywalker, Black Series. You know what the hell I'm saying. We're going over the Bespin Luke on the retro card back. It's for the 40th anniversary. It's just the same body with new paint and the face printing tech from the Black Series one that came out God knows when. We'll do a comparison of those two later in the video. This particular one I had pre-ordered from Hasbro Pulse, which showed up yesterday, day before yesterday, in the last couple days anyway. And slowly pre-orders are trickling in, kind of randomly almost. Like this one showed up, my Slave one showed up at GameStop, but two of my X-Men that I have pre-ordered on Amazon got pushed back to May. Count Dooku's been out for a while, but he hasn't shown up yet. It's very hit and miss right now. So, but anyway, I figured we'll cut this guy open. We'll go over the card. We'll go over all that stuff. We'll do a couple comparisons, and you can see whether or not he's worth tracking down because he's going to be very popular. So, starting with the card, you see we get the Racetrack Empire Strikes Back 40th anniversary logo. Kind of a weird picture of Luke. Honestly, it looks like they put a Snapchat filter on him, for the lack of a better word. I mean, that's just what it looks like to me. Luke himself, lightsaber blaster, probably a bunch of legalese under here. Back of the card, we get the 4 that are available in this particular way with Luke, Han, Leia, Yoda, and the AT-AT driver, which I've already done a review on him. I'm probably not going to pick up these two, just because I've seen them in person and they look more or less identical to the two I already have. Like the face printing tech didn't really update much on them. And then Yoda, this is like the 3rd time we've gotten Yoda in the last year, so Bespin Luke and the AT-AT were the only two I needed. Alright, with all that out of the way, I'm going to cut the bubble off, we'll go over articulation, all the accessories, we'll compare him to the original Black Series, and then maybe do a comparison to the Jedi Knight Luke. Who knows? Started off with Luke's blaster. You can see that little number 1 there. It's got very clean silver. Sculpt on the grip is very nice. They went with a matte finish on this one for the handle at any rate. Not a whole lot of paint bleed, maybe a little bit of mist paint there at the bottom of the barrel. That's about it. Which, doing a side-by-side, this is the original Black Series one. You see the handle on that one's a glossy finish instead of matte. And there's a number 3 instead of a number 1. There's also more of a patina on this barrel, but those are the only differences between those two. This is Luke's new lightsaber. You know, it has a number 2 on the side. It's a little unsightly, but you know, updated paint, got some missed areas, not too terribly bad. I mean, it's not the cleanest in the world compared to the original one, which came out with a number 4 on the side. You're mostly getting an updated blade, really, because this one's much thicker and much darker, and they're about the same length as well, so there's that. Which of course brings us to Luke himself. Physically, it's not any different from the original one. Paint-wise, it's night and day difference, really. They share the same articulation, but the paint is night and day different. But we'll go over articulation first, and then I'll do the comparison. It takes a little bit of effort because of his hair, but he can look up. He can bury his chin. He can look side to side. He's got the smallest amount of tilt you ever did see. Shoulder spins 360 with no problem at all. Comes up to a 90. Single jointed elbow comes up to a hair past 90. Elbow swivel. Both hands on this figure are considered trigger hands in that their hinge is up and down, and wrist swivel. We have a dumbbell joint here in the abdomen. Allows him to lean forward that far, but you do get a gap in the back. Allows him to lean that far back. Again, you get a gap in the front. We get some side to side. Swivel, of course. The holster is free floating, so it does move up and down. He has no problem kicking forward at a 90, even with the holster on his leg. Kicks back kind of far, out to barely a 45. Thigh swivel. Double jointed knees come up that far. Ankle goes back, forward a smidge, and ankle rocker. So these are the two Lukes side by side. Now, at first glance, you don't think there's really anything different other than the faces, but you'll notice that the belts are 2 different colors. You know, this is a light brown, this is more of a chocolate brown. There's actually a wash done on this holster, so there's some kind of black low lights on it, where this one is just normal brown all the way around. You can also tell the wash on this figure is a lot darker. You know, it shows up in kind of the crevices a lot more than the other figure. The skin tone difference is night and day. He looks very sickly in the original one. This one looks like he's actually, you know, got some life to him. Especially comparing the two faces. The new one looks a lot more like Mark Hamill. They updated the hair sculpt, you know, actually looks a lot better. And that's really what you're paying for. Mostly when you get this new one is you're paying for the new head sculpt with the face print and the updated accessories. Just for shits and giggles, you know, here he is next to Jedi Knight Luke. You can see it's, you know, even those face sculpts are a little bit different. Of course the hair is different because it was different in the movie, but his face is a little bit different. I don't know. Just something I noticed. The blaster fits in his trigger hand just fine. You know, no problems there whatsoever. It also has no trouble fitting down in the holster and clamping in place. Lightsaber hilt clings onto his belt with a little bit of effort. The hook is a soft, malleable plastic, so you kind of have to work with it a little bit to get it to hang there. Which, of course, brings us to complaints. Again, it's just an updated face and paint, so they didn't do anything with the sculpt, which I think any Star Wars figure that's a Jedi or wields a lightsaber to some degree, butterfly joints should be standard, so we can avoid this whole baseball stance, because struggling, that's about as best as I can do to get him into some kind of neutral fighting pose with both hands on his lightsaber. Really, beyond that, that's about the only complaint that I have is the lack of butterfly joints, which, again, I think should be standard by this point, but it's not. But yeah, the whole point of it is to get a better face sculpt, or if you missed out on the original Black Series 1, it gives you a chance to get one, because they were kind of fetching a high price on the secondhand market. That is, if you can find them. Other than the one I pre-ordered, I've seen exactly one at a Walmart. Things were already hard enough to find on shelves, and now with the current climate of everything going on, it's even harder. It's even more hit and miss. If you're happy with the original Black Series one that you already own, then you can pass on this one. It doesn't update anything other than paint in the face. You know, if you don't have the original one or you're not happy with it, I recommend tracking it down, because probably the last time we'll get a 6-inch Bespin Luke for a while, I'd imagine. Anyway, let me know down below how you're going to celebrate your, the 40th anniversary of The Empire Strikes Back. Are you going to sit down and watch it? You going to make a cake for yourself? What are you going to do? Let me know if updated face is enough for you to go track one down and get an updated one. Like, I hear a lot of people are happy with the original ones. Like I said, my Han and Leia, I'm happy with those ones because they look close enough to me. The updated faces don't really bring much to the table for them, in my opinion. But this one was night and day. Anyway, if you liked the video, then don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. It means a lot to me when you guys do that. That's all I got for today, so thanks for stopping by. Until next time, I'm Salty, signing off.